Get ready to be amazed. Just like boy bands fade and Dorito flavors change, so do beauty trends. But some of these historical trends are so bizarre, they definitely get a reaction even at a wild place like Dave & Buster's. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the strangest beauty looks from the past. Now, dust off your most outrageous outfit, because things are about to get weird. Victorian secrets beyond the buttoned-up facade. Victorian England, starched collars, miles of black fabric, and a society seemingly obsessed with propriety. But beneath this seemingly uptight exterior lurked a surprising world. Take body piercings, for example. Who would have guessed? Wealthy Victorian women, it turns out, embraced a rather rebellious form of adornment: nipple piercings. Some even connected them with a chain, a trend that wouldn't feel out of place in a modern punk scene. Men weren't left out either. Seeking relief from the increasingly tight trousers of the era, some opted for a more private piercing, one often referred to as the Prince Albert. As legend has it, even Prince Albert himself might have been a fan, though the historical evidence remains murky. Bold brows of antiquity, the Greek unibrow. Forget the perfectly sculpted arches of today. In ancient Greece, the ultimate brow statement was a full uninterrupted unibrow. Far from being seen as unattractive, these power brows were considered a mark of intelligence and purity for women. Unfortunately, not everyone was naturally blessed with this bold look. To achieve the desired effect, women would often resort to makeup, using kohl pigment to draw a unibrow onto their faces. This dramatic brow served as a symbol of beauty in ancient Greece, definitely a far cry from modern brow trends. 17th century chic, décolletage, and the illusion of translucence. While the 17th century witnessed major political upheavals and global conflicts, it also saw a dramatic shift in fashion. Low necklines became all the rage, with breasts taking center stage as a desirable feminine feature. Adding to this trend was the rise of extreme paleness as a marker of high social status. Pale skin signified a life of leisure spent out of the sun, a stark contrast to the tanned complexions of laborers. To achieve the ultimate symbol of wealth and beauty, the combination of cleavage and translucent skin, some women resorted to unusual practice, drawing blue veins on their chests. This desire to mimic the appearance of delicate, translucent skin would likely raise eyebrows today, but for the 17th century socialites, it was the height of fashion. Beyond the white smile, the tradition of ohaguro in Japan. Modern advertising tells us a bright white smile is essential. But in Japan, for centuries, a different aesthetic reigned. For millennia, Japanese women practiced a custom called ohaguro, blackening their teeth after marriage. This wasn't a playful prank, but a symbol of beauty and marital commitment. Ohaguro remained popular until the late 19th century, suggesting a deep cultural significance. While the practice is no longer mainstream, it offers a fascinating glimpse into historical beauty standards. Calf mania, the medieval obsession with muscular legs. Throughout history, societies have admired different physical attributes. In the Middle Ages, and lasting until roughly the 18th century, the focus for men was firmly on well-developed calves. Men's attire, particularly stockings, accentuated this prized feature. Some even resorted to padding their calves to achieve the desired muscularity. King Henry VII, known for his robust physique, was particularly admired for his calves. Perhaps dedication to leg training was one area where he displayed remarkable consistency. A touch of whimsy, the allure of beauty patches in the 18th century. Prior to the 18th century, pale skin dominated the beauty ideal, leaving faces relatively bare. However, the 1700s brought a shift towards more elaborate adornment. Enter beauty patches, small, decorative pieces of fabric applied to the face. Originally used to mask imperfections, these patches evolved into playful fashion accessories. Crafted in a variety of shapes, think stars, crescents, and elegant geometric forms, they added a touch of whimsy to a woman's appearance. But their placement wasn't random. The position of a patch held hidden meaning. A patch near the mouth might suggest a flirtatious nature, while one adorning the right cheek potentially indicated a married woman. This language of patches definitely added another layer of intrigue to 18th century social interactions. Renaissance beauty standards, a different set of pearls. The phrase long in the tooth implies someone is old, but in the Renaissance, short teeth were actually considered a desirable trait. This unusual standard was just one of many highly specific characteristics defining Renaissance beauty for women. Alongside long legs, wide hips, and a narrow waist, apparently, short teeth were also in vogue. Thankfully, modern beauty standards are more diverse and less focused on such specific features. The painful practice of foot binding in China. Foot binding, a custom practiced for centuries in China, stands out as a particularly extreme form of body modification. Young girls underwent a painful process where their feet were tightly bound with cloth, permanently altering their shape and size. Smaller feet were considered a mark of beauty and social status. The exact origins of foot binding remain unclear. However, historical evidence suggests it was prevalent among the elite by the 13th century, eventually spreading to other social classes. Typically starting between the ages of 5 and 7, the binding process continued for years. It involved manipulating the bones of the foot, forcing the sole to bend towards the toes and the toes themselves to curl underneath, creating a deformed and often debilitating condition. A sculptural tradition, head shaping in Mayan culture. The ancient Maya civilization, flourishing around 2000 BCE to 900 CE, practiced a unique form of body modification, cranial deformation. This involved shaping the skulls of infants by applying pressure using boards or other tools. Unlike some cultures where body modification signified social status, head shaping in Mayan society appears to have been primarily an aesthetic practice. Both boys and girls underwent this process, resulting in elongated or flattened skulls, considered a mark of beauty in their culture. Head shaping wasn't unique to the Maya. Interestingly, this practice has been documented across various historical and geographical regions, including the Huns, Hawaiians, Tahitians, Incas, and certain North American tribes like Chinook and Choctaw. A status symbol, the tradition of long nails in China. In Chinese culture, long fingernails have held symbolic significance for centuries. The practice dates back as early as 400 BCE, with both men and women cultivating lengthy nails. During the Qing Dynasty, 1644 to 1912, the trend reached new heights, with some individuals growing their nails to an impressive 8 to 10 inches. These elaborate manicures served as a marker of social status. Long nails signified wealth and leisure, indicating that the wearer did not engage in manual labor that could damage their delicate appendages. Wealthy individuals often employed servants to assist with daily tasks, ensuring their precious nails remained pristine. The shifting ideal, eyelashes in the Middle Ages and Renaissance. Throughout history, long eyelashes have been associated with beauty. However, this perception shifted dramatically during the Middle Ages and Renaissance. Whereas previously lush lashes were considered desirable, they came to be viewed as overly seductive. To avoid this association, women began favoring a more demure look. This preference ultimately led to the removal of eyelashes entirely. Painful methods were employed to achieve this barefaced ideal. This trend highlights the fascinating and sometimes contradictory ways beauty standards have evolved throughout history. World War II and the rise of leg makeup. During World War II, Nylon shortages severely impacted the pantyhose industry. Sheer stockings were a symbol of glamour, and with them unavailable, resourceful women turned to makeup to achieve the desired look. Leg paint products flooded the market, offering a realistic, when applied correctly, alternative to nylons, as documented in a 1942 issue of Life magazine. However, for those seeking a more frugal solution, creativity ruled the day. Some women resorted to household items like gravy to achieve a sheen on their legs. The Renaissance look, high foreheads in fashion. Throughout history, beauty standards have fluctuated dramatically. In Renaissance art, women are often depicted with large, prominent foreheads. This wasn't a coincidence. High foreheads were considered a mark of beauty during this period. Women with naturally receding hairlines were in luck. However, those with lower hairlines often resorted to plucking or even shaving their forehead hair to achieve the desired high forehead look. This trend aimed to create a more elongated and idealized head shape. Tang Dynasty beauty, embracing full faces. Modern beauty standards often emphasize chiseled features and high cheekbones. However, this ideal wasn't always dominant. During China's Tang Dynasty, from 618 to 907 CE, a different aesthetic reigned supreme. Women with full figures, round faces, and prominent cheeks were considered the epitome of beauty. This trend stands in stark contrast to the sometimes extreme measures people take today to achieve a thin and gaunt look. The S-band corset, a shift in silhouette. The Edwardian era saw a surge in corset use, sparking concerns about the restrictive garment's impact on breathing and organs. In response, the S-band corset emerged, offering a seemingly improved design. This variation aimed to alleviate pressure on the waist while creating an exaggerated S-shaped figure. It achieved this by pushing the hips and back outwards, mimicking the bustle silhouette without the bulk. However, the S-band corset wasn't without its drawbacks. It forced the wearer's spine into an unnatural curvature, leading to an accentuated sway when walking. While it offered a more fashionable silhouette, this new design could cause lasting postural damage. These historical beauty trends offer a fascinating glimpse into how perceptions of beauty have evolved throughout time. While some practices might seem strange today, they all reflect the cultural values and aesthetics of their eras. Would you ever consider incorporating any of these trends into your own routine with a modern twist? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.